And good afternoon, San Antonio. Welcome to the Happy Handyman Show. I'm Trudy Chook, broadcasting live from Johnny Chook's Home and Hardware. Going to be here for the next 30 minutes, and we are going to talk about some fun, easy things to do as far as maintenance around the house. Because, you know, that's what we do around here all the time, maintenance around the house. Because if you think about it, isn't that the biggest thing that you own, okay? And so you want to take good care of it. But first, let me tell you where we're located. We're at 2361 Northwest Military Highway, which is super easy to find, lots of parking here. In fact, today we had a fiesta event, and the lady told me, she goes, "This is my fiesta event." And I said, "It is?" And she goes, "Yes, and it's free parking. Where else can you go for a fiesta event where there's free parking?" That's very true. So we're located at 2361 Northwest Military Highway. The phone number here, if you want to give the store a call while I'm either on the air to ask a question, is 210-341-1573. Now we are also live streaming on Facebook right now, so you just go to Johnny Chook's Home and Hardware. You want to look for the Johnny Chooks that's got the picture of our book on it, and that's where you will see me. You can also go to our website because we will repost it out there, and also on YouTube. So let's start talking about some events that we have coming up at the store. Next week, April 26th, is a painting contractor's party. And so you said, "Well, but Trudy, I'm not a paint contractor." No, but would you like to meet one? Do you need some painting done around your house? And you want somebody that comes and shops in our store and buys the best paint? Well, of course you do. And the time to come is on April 26th from about 11 to 3, and we will have probably around 25 to 30 painting contractors here. They like to come because we're going to serve them lunch. We're going to give free prices. We're just going to really say thank you so much for buying from us all year long. And so this is a great time for you to come by too. And if you're a contractor and you haven't ever come in to Johnny Chook's Home and Hardware, all you have to do is call the store, 210-341-1573. Reserve a place, ask for Scott in paint. He will put your name down, and we will make sure that when you come, you've got a place at the table, okay? I want to give a big shout out to two friends of mine, Nancy and Alice. So Nancy and Alice, thanks for coming by the store today, and I hope when you listen to the show that you learned something. So let's start. Okay, so we were talking about paint, and I just want to quickly go over just a few things because next month in May is a huge paint month. It's just known for that. May is known for being a paint month because it's warm enough. We're usually through our rainy spell, but yet it's not too hot to where when you put the paint on, it dries before you can finish the stroke, if you know what I mean. So we carry Ben Moore paint and Coronado paint. And what I want to talk to you about right now is Ben Moore. So there's a couple of different kinds of Ben Moore paint. Different paints for different areas that you want to paint. So Aura, it's A-U-R-A, is their top of the line wall paint. And it is great for holding on to color, staying true to color, and not fading, and then it goes on like butter. So if you're doing a room and you have an accent wall, or you have a color that you want to make sure stays because you get a lot of light in that room, well then Aura would be what you need to go with. But you don't, and Aura is top of the line for them, so it's the most expensive product that they put out. But maybe you don't have to have that. Maybe you want a color, you want some color, but it's not a deep color. Well then, save yourself some money and go with Regal. Regal is just a step under Aura. Beautiful, holds color well, and it goes on great. They have different finishes from matte all the way up to a semi-gloss. And so that will give you different looks for different rooms. Now, and then after that is the bin line. That's a step under that too. And so if you're just doing an extra bedroom and the color is just maybe a light white or a light gray, that would be fine. You'll save yourself in gallons between Aura and that about $15 a gallon. So that's something to think about. But and we found out the other day, Bob Vila, who has been in the home improvement and stuff like that forever on TV, radio, he recommends Benjamin Moore ceiling paint. He says it's the best ceiling paint. Well, we always thought so, but we're glad to have Bob on board with us too. So you'll find that when you paint with the Benjamin Moore ceiling paint, you don't get a lot of drips in your face. You don't get a lot of stuff all over the floor. Of course, you're going to want to cover all that floor, but it is an excellent ceiling paint. So come by, take a look at it. It can be tinted, or you can just leave it white. So now, one other paint that I want to talk to you about is one of my favorites. It's called Advance. So why Advance? Advance by Ben Moore is a whole different paint. It's not going to be a wall paint. It's going to be a trim paint, door paint, cabinet paint, furniture paint. It would be all like that. And why do you want to use Advance over those others? Because Advance has a longer window to dry. So it shows no brush marks, no lap marks, and you just mainly just work it one time and that's it. And it looks, I remember when we first got it in, I redid a piece at my house. And I thought, sometimes advertising kind of stretches what it can do. It's something we understand. And so I started with it. And the next morning I came up, looked at my piece. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It said it did everything that they said it would do and then some. So if you're looking to paint cabinets, doors, trim work, you want to use the Advance. But when you're doing trim work and things like that, usually you're going over a shiny surface. So, but don't get confused about the terminology. You can't paint oil over latex or latex over oil, because that's not true. Not popular, but it's not true. What you need to remember is you can paint latex over oil or oil over latex. You just can't paint on a shiny surface. A shiny surface will not let the paint grip. So what do you do about that? Well, there's a couple of things you can do. You can sand, which not a lot of people like to do because it's very labor intensive, and then it gets all this dust all over the house. And if you have wood floors, it can get all in the grain of the wood. It's a mess. But for some things, you just have to sand. But for other things, you want to use a product, they call it liquid sandpaper. There's several kinds, but the one I like best is made by Krud Kutter, and it's called Gloss Off. It's super easy to use. It won't take you half as much time as it does to sand. And all you have to do is you put it on a rag and you go in circles over the area that you're wanting to take the gloss off so that you can paint. Keep turning your rag while you do that, and then take a wet rag, a separate one, and just wipe it down. You don't have to rinse it completely off, not at all, but you do have to wipe it down with a wet rag. And then after 10 minutes, you're ready to paint, no sanding necessary, and your paint is going to really grab into that surface and not ever chip or peel. And that will save you some time and some money. All right, I want to talk to y'all about a product that we have had since I started working at Johnny Took's Home and Hardware, and I was 25 years old, and I'm turning older this year. So, and it's called Delete Germ. And Delete Germ is a product that is mainly used for toilets. It's a toilet bowl cleaner. And we really like it because it's a de-limer, it doesn't smell bad, and it will keep your toilets looking great. But it also does a lot of other things. How many of you have glass shower doors? And even though maybe you might have soft water at your house, you still get watermarks on your glass. And there's a long reason about why you do. Mainly glass is not perfect, it's not completely slick, and that's how water gets stained on it because it gets stuck in all the little holes. Well, what if I told you, once you clean your glass shower door with Delete Germ, there would be a way to keep it clean without any stains for almost a year. Yes, almost a year, even in our hard water here in San Antonio. How many of you have ever heard a windshield cleaner and a windshield protectant called Rain-X? And when you put Rain-X on your windshield, when rain comes, it just beads and rolls right off. Or when you have to have your windshield wipers go on, it just takes the rain and takes it away. It's because it can't stick to the surface of the glass. Well, they made it for shower doors too. But it's not called Rain-X. It's called Invisible Shield. Invisible Shield in the blue bottle is a protective glass and surface coating. And when you apply this to your clean shower door, you want to apply 2 coats using a circular motion. It's going to kind of smell like rubbing alcohol, and then it's going to dry. And when it dries, it gives you a protective surface that the hard water cannot stick to. And then here's the secret. I mean, you could let it go at that, and your glass shower door would probably stay clean for about 2 months. And if that's okay with you, that's okay with me. But if you want to take it a step further, they make a product called Glass and Surface Cleaner. Both of them in blue, so you know to use them together. And if you, whenever you do clean your shower door, use the Invisible Shield Glass and Surface Cleaner and Repellent, it reinforces the protection of the glass and surface coating. And that's why it will last almost a year, and you'll have a clean, clear glass shower door. No spots. All right, let me tell you something. I don't usually talk about the gift shop too much, but for those of you that come into the store, you know that the first 2,500 square feet is all dedicated to gift and kitchen. And so I want to show you some things. In our kitchen aisle, we carry a lot of food, like jams, jellies, seasoning mixes, some drink mixes, some oils to dip bread in. It's all made by Stonewall. Yes. And so, but last night I picked up one. I always buy stuff in my store, and I eat and cook every night. And so I make vegetables every night. I'm a big vegetable eater. And sometimes it just gets boring just having steamed vegetables. So we have a line from Urban Accents, which is Stonewall Kitchens, okay? And the one that I tried last night was Manchego, and I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Jill will come over here and say, no, it's Manchego. Roasted garlic, veggie roaster seasoning blend. All I did was put it in the pan before I put in my cauliflower and just let it cook like that. It was so good. There's little to no calories in it, and it has a very low sodium. So this is a really good one to try. It'd be great to throw in with a gift or anything like that. And then there's also another one called Parmesan Mediterranean, and I'm going to try that one too. And so it just makes cooking healthy a little bit more fun. And speaking of cooking, all right, we have these great, they're called fancy pans, and there are a way to take like food to go, and they have a cooling pack on the inside, and it is a container that will hold, and then it won't slide around all in your car. They come in 3 different colors. We have it in turquoise, in this marble color, and then in red. And so they make great gifts, absolutely wonderful gifts. Like if you're going to a party, that could be a housewarming gift. It could be a hostess gift. And then if you're smart and you know where to take it, if you have their name put on it in a vinyl lettering, it looks so good. So good. And that's just some of the things that you can find on our kitchen aisle. Now, we also have a lot of children's gifts. Mainly that happened when I had a grandchild. And then I thought, we need to have some of that stuff here. And one of the favorite things with children and with their parents is a line of books called Ditty Bird. So they're about a good size for a child's hand. But let me tell you what's different about Ditty Bird. It is a hardback, okay? So, and then it sings. And on each page, there is a little spot made for a tiny finger, not a big adult finger, a tiny finger. And they press it, and then the Ditty Bird book will sing to them, not in an adult voice, but a child's voice. They are so sweet. And one of them is even in Spanish. They have action songs, nature songs. That's just a few of what we have over there. They're reasonably priced. And let's see if I can, we probably have the price over there on. Hey Jill, do you remember what the price is on the Ditty? We're going to find out for you. Now another thing, how many of you have maybe friends that are in a wheelchair or a walker, and they run out of $10.98? 18. Okay, the Ditty books are $18.99. It's a really good price. How many of you have friends that are in walkers, or they're on in a wheelchair, and they run out of space, like if they're shopping, because that doesn't stop, right? To hang stuff on. And so this lady that I met one time, this is made in the USA, made a product called the Smarter Hook. And it goes on over the wheelchair arm or the walker arm, and it gives them two other places to hang bags and packages or purse or backpack or anything like that. And they hold up really well. It gives you a hook when you need it the most, right on your wheelchair. And so take a look at that. We have those right up front. Like I said, I don't talk about the gift shop that much, but I wanted just to kind of explain to you, we have a lot of things here, more than just hardware. And one of them is these puzzles that are called I Am, okay? And then they're in the shape of, like this one that I'm showing on Facebook says elephant. And it's in the shape of an elephant. It is so cool. I gave my granddaughter one that was a giraffe, and she absolutely loved it, put it on her wall, and then she could always look at that. It's a unique shape puzzle. It's not just any old puzzle. And that's what we strive for. All right, I had a customer that came in today, and they called me on the phone, and they had a question. They said, Trudy, I just had my door refinished, and it looks so good. But my handle set, not so good. And said it's brass, and it has dark spots all over it. And I said, well, if it is truly brass, then you can polish it, and it'll come back. But it's probably just plated. And so when you lose that plating off there, all you see is like the pot metal that's underneath it, and it looks dark. And there's not anything, you can't polish it, you can't do anything like that for it, but you can paint it. And it is super easy to paint. Any of the spray paints, all of them go over everything now. And especially look at that new Rust-Oleum that we got that's got about 5 different spray nozzles on it. And then they have some that's in like an oil rub bronze, and it looks so good. So instead of replacing it, especially if it works well, why replace it? And then you would have to also redo your door. You can just spray paint it, and it will look great. All right, where are we located? We're at 2361 Northwest Military Highway. The phone number here is 341-1573. The store's going to be open until 6:30 today. So if you're listening to this right now and you're like, hey, I need to get over there and get that. But you know what else you can get? You can get fajita tacos. We had Canine for Warriors here today. It was our event that we were celebrating with them along with our Fiesta event. And so many things that we did got donated to them. And one of them was fajita tacos. You can buy 3 tacos for $10, and that $10 goes directly to Canine for Warriors. So if you're looking for something to donate to, they're a great group and do so much to help our warriors. All right, so let's talk about one little thing, a couple of things left. I have plenty of time. All right, so you know that I was at the Do It Best show about 2 weeks ago. And so I always look for something new in an existing line that we have. And I love Libman. They do a wonderful job with brushes, brooms, mops, sweepers, anything. And they have this new thing called Libman Tear and Wipe Microfiber cloths. So they look like paper towels, except they're a microfiber. Oh, how wonderful to have a microfiber on a roll, and if whatever you're cleaning you don't want to use again, you want to throw it away, well, here's one that you can do that with. They're inexpensive. They still act like a microfiber because they remove 99% of bacteria, and the reason that is, people always say, well, why does it do that? It's the way the tip is on the end of the material. It's kind of exploded, and so it tends to act like a magnet to whatever you're trying to pick up instead of like a sponge. Have you noticed, like when you're using a sponge on your stove or in your sink, it kind of pushes it around and you kind of have to corral it, you know, and then clean it off and go back and try to corral some more. Well, with microfibers, they just kind of, they're a magnet. So you don't have to try to corral, it gets it all there. So keep that in mind, and let me talk to you about a couple of different products. How many of you have wood cabinets? There are stained wood cabinets with a varnish finish, okay? And sometimes around the knobs, they get sticky. Why do they get sticky? It's the oil in your hands and your fingertips, and it will actually break down the varnish that's on your cabinets. And so you have to constantly be cleaning the oil off. So what do you do that with? I love a product made by Holloway House called Wood Cleaner. You'll find me saying fine wood cleaner all the time because that's what it used to be called. But it is a water-free formula. It's a natural cleaner for there. They said that fine wood that removes old wax and dirt and oil, okay? And it smells so good. Those of you that, hi Jean, how are you? Those of you that are watching on Facebook, you'll see that it is purple in color, okay? And that is truly the color, it's not the bottle. And it smells like coconut. It smells so good. But it just because it smells good and it looks cute, okay, it does a really good job of cleaning your cabinets. And that's why I like to use it. So could you use it with a microfiber? Oh, yeah. Okay. So what about, this is what happens to me. I don't know if it happens to you, but this is what happens to me. I have, somebody will call me and they'll say, hey Trudy, I'm coming over. I'm bringing the wine, da 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 da. Oh, that's great. And then I look at my furniture and I'm like, oof, it's a little dusty right now. But I don't want to do a full-fledged cleaning. I just want to spruce it up a little bit. So Holloway House makes quick shine cabinet and wood cleaner and polish, but it doesn't build up. Okay, so it's not like a silicone-based product like Pledge or English, something English. But anyway, this will do a really good job of just making your furniture look good. Can you use it with the Libman? Absolutely. And then maybe if you didn't want to, you just throw it away when you're done. Sounds good? That's what I thought so too. All right, let me tell you again where we're located. We're at 2361 Northwest Military Highway. The phone number is 210-341-1573. And that's it for this week, folks. It's time for you to roll up your sleeves and get busy on some of these projects. But by all means, you remember one thing. It will always